everyone. Welcome to another edition of the McbBigdeConsult Media Chat Room of Humans of Nigeria, job professionals in the NGO sector. My name is Faith Afolabi and I'm host for this show, and you're welcome. Okay, so last week we had a wonderful time with our guest. She is the founder of Donors for Africa, and she shared her experience on how she was able to start up her NGO. And then we heard another friend of mine. But today we have another person, and she's been in the non-for-profit sector for quite some time, working in the community. So today will be your first time to hear the story of someone working in the community. So before we meet her, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, you hear her story. Stay right here. Welcome everyone for that short break, and my name remains Faith Afolabi. If you're just joining us, this is Humans of Nigeria, job professionals in a non-for-profit chat room, and here we share stories on how you can start a career in non-for-profit. So let's get to meet our guest. Tell us your name and what you do.
Okay. My name is Winifred Imoyera, and I'm a public health professional. I work with international organization, and I work in the capacity of the community mobilization officer.
Okay, all right, that's good. So would you like to share with us your experience, how you started on this journey?
Yeah, very well. Well, I started in my first year in university. I'd heard someone speak about how, as at the time he had graduated, he had 5 years work experience, having studied a 5-year course, and I'd just entered for a 4-year course, and I also wanted to have that kind of experience, And so, that conversation really got me thinking, and I decided to also look for an organization, a non-profit, and affiliate myself with them, and build my capacity so that at the time I will be graduating, I also have 4 years work experience.
Right. Okay. So what were the things that you did to build your experience? So can you share a bit more?
Okay, yeah. So, one of the things I like to tell people is that, I have met a lot of people who have come to meet me to say, oh, they like to work with a non-profit, they would like to do this and they like to do that. But the first thing I tell them is because, I can't tell them different. This is how I started, volunteering, So look for an organization and volunteer with them. We're lucky enough, in this day and times, you might get a stipend for volunteering. But back then when I volunteered in 2007, 2008, when I started, there was I was volunteering, for free. I was not, collecting any stipend for transport or for anything, But because I was really majorly driven by the passion, passion for service, and because it was something that was an area I really loved, So that was the only motivation I had. But I think we have organizations these days, offering some stipend and even going beyond, going a step further, and even like putting some of their volunteers on a salary, So there are lots of motivation these days, and I enjoy people who are looking, to start a career in this field, to look for opportunities to volunteer. The reason why I say volunteering comes for, they should seek volunteering opportunities is because, one, you get to learn skills. These are skills that much later when they get a paid employment, they'll be paid for, because, those skills will be put into practice, and, would also help them to aid their job, So you get skills. While I was volunteering, that was where I learned, report writing, project planning, fundraising, how to manage stakeholders. As in a non-profit space, we have varying degree of stakeholders that we work with, and you need to be able to manage them properly. You need to be able to relate with them very well if you really want your projects to succeed. So these are all the things that you learn while volunteering, because I saw that when an opportunity comes for you to get a paid employment, you're able to prove yourself. You understand? Yes. So I would say really volunteering is key, like it's a major thing. And of course you must have that passion, because of course along the line you meet many things that will discourage you or that, but once you have the passion, that's the propelling factor, that will help you keep going. Passion. No matter how the journey gets.
Okay, so we're going on a quick break, and I would like to hear a bit of your story on how you were able to get the work experience in your university, because I know we had that discussion too. Please, I'd like you to share that with us. Okay, Okay, so welcome back from that short break, and we've been speaking with Miss Imoyera Winifred, and she's a community development specialist in an international organization. So it's been wonderful. If you're just tuning in, this is Humans of Nigeria, job professionals in the non-profit sector. So Winnie, can you tell us how you were able to get that work experience? Because most people I meet that want me to help them get jobs, and they say, oh, but I don't have this experience. How am I supposed to get experience when I come out of school? Well, you said something about getting experience while in school. So can you share a bit of that story with us? Thank you.
Okay. So while I was in school, like I said, I started volunteering in my first year university. So already I gained admission, but I always made sure to ensure that during the holidays, every break that we had, and the strikes, because I went to a federal university, and so during the periods of strike, I was, actively working. I just, for me, it wasn't strike because I just returned to my work, to my volunteering,
work.
Organization. Sorry for that. Returning to my volunteering, to the organization that I volunteered with, and so that organization was, as at that time, was very prominent in that state. They had lots of activities, they had lots of grants, they had lots of funded projects. So there was never a dull moment or a moment where we had nothing doing. So I was conscious, I was actively on my toes, and so. While there, the first unit I was posted to was what they call the Integrated Youth Development Unit. That was the name of the department, And so we're majorly into sexual and reproductive health of young people, providing education on SRH of young people and adolescents and young people. And then we also went to schools to provide life skills training, So we had a very number of schools, private and public schools, that we went to talk to the youth and provide them on life skills. We also had a youth club that we ran. They met every week, every Friday at our office then, So there were a lot of games, a lot of that. And that was also another opportunity to talk to them on sexual and reproductive health, on providing more life skills for them and all of that. So, all of those opportunities built me. We have to develop curriculum. As a volunteer then, I was also actively engaged in the development of the curriculum that we took the people that were in the youth club through, And we also had life skills training. I went to schools, we had youth camps, So the planning, ensuring that we had guests, all of that, the responsibility for all of that, fell on me. And so, through all of that, my capacity was being built. At the end of all of those activities, I'd have to write reports. I would have to, so as the more I did that, the more, I got better at it, the more I gained expertise in it, I saw that once I left the organization, I went to another organization, Family Health International. I volunteered with them for a while I was still in university. And while I was posted to an ART site, and while I was there, I also gave my best. I was very responsive. I was very, so they entrusted a lot of things into my care. I wrote reports. I did my work as I should, going the extra mile. And in that organization, they provided weekly training for all the volunteers and staff, just to ensure that we're up to date with best practices and all of that. So, that was, knowledge. So knowledge gained, and all the while I was building skills. All the while I was building experience. While I was volunteering with FHI, I also got a scholarship to attend a conference in Addis Ababa. So these are some of the benefits.
Were you still in school at that time?
Yes, wow. Yes. I was now in my final year in university. I got all expense paid, flight tickets, everything, accommodation. I even got some stipend, while I got there, and I came back. So all of this. If I wasn't volunteering, I really would not have gotten the opportunity. If I sat in my house and waiting to finish university before taking that step, I might not. I saw that as soon as I finished school, before I served 6 months after I graduated. In that 6 months, I worked. I worked on a USAID funded project, and I got paid. So when I went for my youth service, I joined the HIV/AIDS
unit.
What do they call them now? Unit, exactly. So that was for 1 year. I chose a school that I trained 40 students on FLE, peer health education and all of that. So while I was serving too, I was posted to a local government. I served in the local government, but on the side, I was also volunteering with an organization, called life builders in Ibadan. You understand? Because this was something that was already part of me. So every opportunity I got, you understand, I always look for opportunity to serve, to pay value. You understand? And the fact that I had,
great value.
Yeah, I had some experience while I was in school working with these organizations. Any organization I went to, I was not a beginner anymore because they put me in a position to to lead and direct other people because I had the experience and I was quite knowledgeable about most of the things that we had to do in this organization. After my service year, I worked with an organization for about a year before deciding to go for my master's in public health.
Okay, so you actually did a training, because I was going to ask you, did a training for someone that didn't have an opportunity to volunteer in school, hearing this, like, okay, so I want to start. How do I start? Tonight, I see you that your master's in public health gave you an urge. What about those that don't have masters in public health? Are there courses that they can take, and where can they find that course?
Okay, so there are a lot of online courses that they could take. There are lots of online courses that they could take. I have colleagues that I work with that don't even have a master's in public health. And I don't know about other schools, but the school that I
don't have a master's yet, but I'm working towards that, and I've had over 10 years of experience. But I started as a volunteer as well, so it helped me, gave me that step up, and every other thing followed afterwards. Okay. So you were sharing that there were sites that people can look out to volunteer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but right now, none of them readily come to mind.
Okay.
But I'll be So if there's a blog or something where we can share the information after on, I would be willing to share.
Have that.
Yes, sites. Okay. Sites where people can always go on to free courses. You don't have to pay, and these are certificates that you can add to your CV, and that would also help. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and like I said, in this field of public health, really, I think the major skill or the major criteria that is needed is passion. Once you have your passion, there's so many things, every other thing will be added to you. Yeah, really, because it was that passion that propelled me, that put me in that space. Yes, it was the passion that put me in the space, that ensured that I was in the right, I worked with the right organizations, because when I look at my trajectory so far, I see that one thing led to the other. One step led to the other. You understand? I had to go through some other steps, to get to where I am now. You understand? So, and I see that, and when I look back, I see that really there was no mistake, in all of it at all. I see the hand of God also in it, So, basically, passion is a major criteria, and then also a willingness to learn. While I was volunteering, you must be willing to learn from everyone. You don't look at. You could learn from even some, from places and people that you do not even think will provide you to learn. Just have that heart, that's always ready to learn. And once people see that, people love people who are willing and ready to learn. Right. Once people see that, they're willing to share their knowledge, their expertise and resources with you, because they say this person really wants to get ahead, and this person is on their way, on his or her way there, and they're willing to help.
Right, that's been interesting. So, would you like to share with us last words for those of us watching, and then maybe people that are in the non-for-profit in a different department from community work, how they can get on that?
Okay, well, for those who will be thinking of moving departments, to the community development space, I would say, one, right now in their current departments, they should always try to ensure that they get involved, with community activities. Community activities are a lot. They are almost every day. They are activities. They are such that you almost go out every day into the community. So, they should find maybe one day in the week that they choose to go out with those, working in the community development, maybe community development relation or community development units,
Where can they find those units? Is it like in the local government or within their organization?
Okay. I was thinking that probably they're already within the they're already working an NGO and they just want to move probably from another unit to another unit. If they're not in the space right now, like in the not-for-profit space right now, and they want to move into, community development, into the community development units, I would say they should probably look for opportunities to volunteer. They should look for organizations. There are lots of organizations that are looking for volunteers. Like currently, I'm a UN volunteer. they should go online and probably Google UN volunteers, So for that opportunity will not even affect their current roles, like job roles right now, because there are online opportunities. You can volunteer for an organization in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Sao Tome, and all of that. So the opportunity that you can, from the comfort of your home, of your home, you can volunteer, across borders, even on community-related projects, So they could start from there, and even within the country, in Nigeria here, they could look for organizations, who carry out, outreaches.
Yes, I know the government, the health sector, primary health.
Exactly, primary care. Exactly. And many of these organizations, you'll be surprised. Many of them will be happy if you write to them, or if you even walk into their offices, if you know their offices, and just say you like to volunteer. You don't have to, go every day, depending on your schedule, your current work schedule. You could just strike like a schedule with them that works for you and that is also favorable to them. They'll be happy. I know many organizations that are willing to take on people. The only snag is that they may not be able to provide probably a stipend or something that may be commensurate with that person's education. So you should liaise with those people in the other units, in the community development units, and seek for opportunities to go out with them. To know what's happening on the field. As they interact with varying stakeholders. Across the world levels, local government, even the states, and sometimes the national level, So really, for community development, you can't just, it's not really much of an office job. You really need to go out, because you're living with community people, and if you don't interact with them, if there's some sort of miscommunication, things could go wrong, So they need to ensure that they liaise with those in that unit and try to ensure that they follow them out to the field to see how they do things. I think so that could be their point of entry. Now, for those who probably are not even in the field at all, probably moving from a totally different unit, I would just advise that they first of all volunteer. They volunteer with. They should look for a non-for-profit to volunteer with. Right. And then over time they'll find their somehow. Yeah.
Wow, it's been such an interesting one with you, Winnie, and we want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, because you have said a lot, your story about how you got your job experience in the university is one that it's very interesting on today's topic. And I hope someone out there have been able to see how they can do it. If you're still in university, you're watching this and you want to start up a career, you can do it even while in university. Yes. So when you come out, you have something to put on your CV, because I've seen lots of CVs and you don't have work experience. I'm like, how can they get it? So this has even opened my eyes to advise some of the people I meet on a day-to-day basis. So thank you once again, and we hope you'll come next time we invite you. So my name remains Faith Afolabi. We've been speaking with Winifred Imoyera, a community development specialist and a project management personnel in non-profit sector. And so this is where we end today's curtain. And we'd like you to follow us on all our social media. Until next time, same channel. Thank you. Bye.